Hi everyone. All right, so if you are watching this video, you are probably just coming off the cleanse, or maybe you've got 2 or 3 days left. So congratulations. The next phase is all about reintroducing foods back into our system at a certain rate so that we don't overload our body. What you don't want to do is come off of the 7-day cleanse and then all of a sudden wake up and you're going to have protein and dairy and gluten, and you're just going to overload your system. And then also, you're not going to have a chance to be able to see what foods affect you and which ones your body is totally fine with. So here's the program that we're going to follow. On Monday, which is day 1 of phase 2, you are going to introduce lean protein. So if you are a normal meat eater, you can introduce chicken, lean beef, you can introduce fish, you can introduce eggs. All of that you can start reintroducing on Monday. Now during the cleanse, you might have had a hard-boiled egg or chicken breast, which is totally fine if you needed it. But on Monday, you're gonna make it part of your normal everyday diet, okay? If you are vegan or vegetarian, you can count your protein as tofu or beans or any other vegan or vegetarian approved protein, okay? But for those of you that are meat eaters, beans are gonna count as a carb, all right? So we're gonna wait till day 2. On day 2, you can reintroduce gluten-free carbs. So what are some examples of gluten-free carbs? Pasta that is certified gluten-free. For example, this is Eat Banza. It's made with chickpeas, pea starch, tapioca, and xanthan gum. This is a great one because it's also pretty high in fiber. So I want you guys to look at carbs that are gluten-free. Oatmeal is another one. It should say gluten-free on there. But make sure for every 10 grams of carbs, you have at least 1 gram of fiber. So if it's got 25 grams of carbs, you want to look for at least 2 grams of fiber. And we call that a low glycemic carb. So LG carbs is what we want. The insulin reaction from your body is going to be a lot slower than if you were to eat, for example, cotton candy, which is pure sugar carbs, okay? So we're going to introduce gluten-free carbs on day 2. Day 3, you can introduce nuts. Like I want to go back and say, you don't have to introduce something if you don't want to. It's not like you have to wake up on day 3 and eat nuts. But if you want to put some peanut butter, peanuts are not a real nut, but we will approve them on day 3. It's actually a legume. But if you want to add peanut butter, almond butter to your shake, you can. If you want to have your snack with celery and some nut butter, that's totally fine. Let's talk about nuts. So I want you to think about when you eat nuts, a very small hand size. So it's about half of your palm is a pretty decent serving, probably about 10 to 12 pieces, definitely not exceeding 20. Walnuts are a great option. Macadamia nuts are actually a really good option. Almonds are awesome. However, we tend to have a diet that's high in almonds because if you eat any grain-free products like Simple Mills, for example, if you're consuming almond milk, we already have a lot of almonds in our diet. If you don't have a lot of almonds in your diet, you can definitely choose almonds. But if you're already getting a lot of almond products, then maybe try something else so that you can give your body a little bit of a change up. Walnuts, macadamia nuts. I love pistachios, but make sure to get them in their original form and shell them yourself. It's a nice, fun little treat. And they're actually low calorie for how many nutrients you're actually getting in a pistachio. Excuse me. All right, day 5, you can introduce dairy if you choose. Dairy is going to be whole fat dairy, okay? It's gonna keep you fuller and it's preserved in its natural state. So it's not stripped of all its good, healthy fats. This is a really good brand that I like. It's Nancy's Organic, and they do tend to have probiotic yogurt, probiotic cottage cheese, and this is the full fat option. So that's what we use in our house. If you are gonna consume cheese, raw form is gonna be best. If and when you can, and also full fat, all right? Let's see, day 8. So we're gonna take a few days break of introducing new foods. Day 8, you can introduce gluten, all right? This is an important one. That's why we take a few days break before we introduce it, because a lot of people have a sensitivity to gluten. What I realized for me is I am definitely not gluten-free. I can have gluten, I'm totally fine, but I do notice that my tummy is a lot happier and not bloated when I do gluten-free. So I do keep a gluten-free bread on hand, and I do try to choose mostly gluten-free carbs, although sometimes a piece of sourdough calls my name, and I am totally fine with that. So keep that in mind. Day 8 is when you can introduce gluten. Just some brands. Another brand I really like that I want to show you guys is this Satay Foods. It's a cassava flour. So you can actually introduce this as early as day 1. If you do their almond flour option, you're going to want to introduce that on day 2. Oh, sorry, day 3 when nuts are allowed. But this one right here can actually be introduced as soon as day 1. So if you want a tortilla, this is a great option. All right, let's talk about your vitamins. So you can start taking your Meology or Vitalizer, whichever one you got. This is your daily vitamin, okay? So you're gonna start taking this every single day. Don't miss a day because you're not gonna feel the benefits if you don't take it daily. Make sure you have your Life Shake. I highly recommend breakfast for your Life Shake. However, I get it. Some days I wake up and I really want some, eggs for breakfast. So go ahead and move it to your snack or your lunch. But continue to have 2 scoops of Life Shake every single day, and you will really see the benefits of staying full and getting that amino acid leucine, which helps to preserve your muscles and helps you burn fat, okay? So definitely keep that. Now, other things that I like to take, I love our Sustained Energy Boost. You can introduce caffeine back in, but remember, you can't introduce dairy till day 5. So you can use an almond milk creamer on day 3, but prior to that, keep your coffee super clean for the first 2 days, but you can have caffeine. This is one that I love. I take our chewable vitamin C every single day. Let's talk about alfalfa and Herblax. So this is what you were taking during the cleanse. I take alfalfa regularly because it helps me with decongestion and major seasonal allergies that I have. But if you're someone that struggles with regularity with your bowel movements, Herblax is definitely something you can continue to take. I have a lot of clients that take it and love it. And this is our Easy Digest, which is awesome if you ever travel or you're having trouble when you introduce new foods. This helps you break them down. And I forgot to put it out here, but our Probiotic Pearl is absolutely incredible. It's the only probiotic I've seen, and my clients say this all the time, where immediately they're like, oh my God, I can feel a difference. It's a tiny little pearl, and I even sneak it into my kids' food. So I highly recommend those products. Which brings me to our loyalty program. If you stay on $100 order every single month, so 100 PV, sorry, which would be like our vitamins and shake or any of the other products, you start earning loyalty points. And when you earn loyalty points, the first few months you'll get 5% back, then it jumps to 10, and then it jumps to 15% back that you can use on Shaklee products. I have a lot of clients that earn free cash with Shaklee this way, and then they use it on stuff like skincare or even buying extra products. So I would highly consider if I were you staying on a membership. What you can do is ask your distributor who signed you up to request access to your account. So I have clients that I manage their account for them. Every month I text them and I say, what would you like in your loyalty order? And I go ahead and fix their loyalty order for them so they don't have to go in and manage it themselves. I can take stuff out, I can pause items. But if that's something you want, is to commit to this healthy lifestyle, consider that, okay? It's an awesome program. You get member pricing and you start earning cash back on all this fun stuff that you're ordering. All right, you guys. What else? Let's talk about how much you can eat at each meal. Breakfast, I really want you to shoot for 50% carb, 50% protein. So that could be a slice of bread, gluten-free or not, and an egg. Once we're at that point where you can introduce bread, excuse me, Life Shake is perfect, especially if you're adding berries. Life Shake is that perfect breakdown of 50% carb, 50% protein, and the carb needs to be a LG carb, low glycemic, okay? Lunch and dinner, I want you to always shoot for 50% veggies. Minimum, it could be 75%, but 50% of your plate needs to be veggies. The rest of your plate can be carbs and healthy fats and protein, okay? But 50% of your plate, always shoot for veggies. All right, you guys. I'm not gonna tell you actual quantities because you're gonna see you don't need to measure your food to see results, all right? Now, if you are shooting for a weight loss goal, I want you to shoot for 4 meals a day. Breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner. If you need a little tiny snack, so it's like 4.5 after dinner, you can have one, okay? But really try to keep that like a fruit or a veggie and a healthy fat, okay? Try not to do any carbs after dinner time besides a fruit option. If you were just in maintenance, then definitely go for the 5 meals a day: breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, and then that little half one if you need it afterwards. But if you're going for weight loss, shoot for the 4. So you're gonna skip the snack between breakfast and lunch. I know that can seem hard, and if you're someone that needs your calories early in the day, you can go breakfast, snack, lunch, dinner. But I do find that most of us going from lunch to dinner without a snack can be really tough, okay? Definitely keep that water high. It's starting to get hot where most of us live, so keep your water intake nice and high, and that's gonna help you see results regardless of where you're at, and just keep your gut nice and happy. One other product I forgot to share, it's in my cupboard on that side, is collagen. Adding that to your shake is not only gonna help with hair, skin, nails, but it's actually gonna make a big difference for your gut health too. So that's another product that I highly recommend. Anyways, I shared some of the things that I use and how we're gonna introduce next week. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm so excited for phase 2, and I'm super proud of you guys.